Okay, we're back at it with another lesson in this map making tutorial series. We're finally going to be putting down some roads. We're going to be working with Street Spline Constructor and Crossing Constructor. I've thought about the workflow for this lesson and which would be better to start with. I'm almost certain, 100% certain that starting with Crossing Constructor is better than starting with Street Spline Constructor. Crossing Constructor is basically going to be creating our intersections for us, and Street Spline Constructor is going to be creating the roads, and those roads are going to follow the undulations in the terrain and everything, and be creating giving us smooth roads and making our life just so much easier, because this is probably the biggest pain in the rear in Giants Editor is placing down roads, and this program's just going to do it for us. I'm going to teach you some of the little tricks that I use. I've used this dozens and dozens of times, and there's some little kinks to it that don't really that you need to do a couple things to fix to get it working properly. But so I'm going to zoom down here. I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna lower the terrain a little bit, getting closer to this bridge here. Let me zoom into Street View to get you a better view of what I'm talking about here. So the road does come down a little bit right here, just ever so slightly down, down here. And so I'm gonna do that. Let's see, that's it's down. Yeah, the bridge is the bottom part, so it does come down slightly. I don't think that the terrain that I did quite captures that, so I'm gonna lower this terrain down just a tiny tad. Let's see, let's have this subtract. I'm just gonna run my tool along here, and then I kind of want the plane visible as well here, just to know. Look at that, the bridge is in the exact right spot too. Yeah, so I'm gonna kind of run my tool along here, make sure I'm in the right spot, just so I can show you what that looks like. That the road following the terrain. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing over here. Just ever so slightly. I'm gonna smooth that out just so you can kind of see it, but you'll see it better once we run it. Okay, and then yep, bridge right there. Lower it a little bit here. That should be good. It's kind of difficult to see with the grass in the way, but you'll see what I mean soon. Okay, so now that I got that lowered, did that really quick. Make sure you got your terrain all set correctly, because when you run this road, we're going to be adjusting the road, or we're going to be adjusting the terrain to conform with the road, so that's right up on the sides of the road and everything. There's no gaps underneath of it that you can walk under the road and everything. So it's gonna look realistic and everything. So make sure you've done most of your terrain editing now before doing this. So I'm gonna go ahead and quick save that. Okay, so now that sorry about that. Now that I have hopefully packaged this all up for you and sent it and uploaded it, you can go ahead and download Crossing Constructor. Should be CC. I don't know what I'll name the file. It'll probably make it something obvious, obviously. You can unzip this file and put all the contents into a folder called Crossing Constructor, whatever you want, really. It should contain all of this good stuff in here. You really only need Crossing Constructor 1.02. So you're gonna need that, and then you're gonna need Street Spline Constructor. I just named it SSC. Gonna need all of that. Some prep work here is that you're gonna need these scripts. Okay, you're gonna need to bring those into your scripts folder. Again, %app data, find Giants Editor in local right here, and add those scripts in here. I already got them in here, but add those scripts in here and you're good to go. Okay, so what I typically do is I just bring those two folders into my map file and I delete them later. But I like to have them in here so I got kind of a good directory to work from. Okay, so my map has, I believe, 2 intersections. Oops, there we go. We got a 4-way intersection and we got a T intersection. I'm not sure I want to do the T intersection there. I think I might make this into a gravel road, but I'm going to show you how to do it regardless. So I'm going to bring this down. Okay, so that means so we're going to run the street spline constructor. We're going to run the road from that edge of the map over there all the way to that intersection. Okay, and then we're going to do a new one running from that edge of the map to that intersection, that edge of the map to the intersection. So we're gonna end up running street spline constructor 4 times. Okay, on my console map, I have run it like, I don't know, 8 times because I got lots of different intersections in that map. But trust me, it's worth the time that you're gonna put into it. I'd say this is about. This will take you a couple hours. But if your intersections are pretty easy, then it'll be super easy. Okay, so let's file save, make sure that's below the surface there. I'm going to open up the tutorial map, get this out of the way. I already used that. Open up the tutorial map, go to crossing constructor. We're going to do that first. It is you have to do the intersections first. I'm just going to say that right now because you're going to be bringing those the splines for your roads up to those intersections. That's why we're doing this first. Okay, so I'm going to go open crossing constructor. It is all in German. It's going to be fun. Okay, so this is a good starter for a good preview for what SSC is going to be like. So this one is the simpler program. So i3D file, this is where we're exporting our i3D, our intersection, or actually the road, the physical road. Let's see, it's going to be always check your file paths up here. Okay, open this up, physically open this up, make sure it's right. Okay, so ours is in tutorial map CC. That's good. That's where that's where I'm going to be importing from. That's where our textures are at. So I'm going to save as test. If this doesn't appear, just write file name test down here. Save as type Giants editor. You should be good. Okay, so that file path's up there. That's correct. Okay, I'm going to click on Rand Urzu. And I had these all. I think this is edge of the road. I had these all translated, but you can, go to Google and just do German to English translation if you need any help. But this is basically the edge of the road. Okay. And this should cover, Winkel is angle in German. This should cover the angle at which the roadside angles out from the flat part of the road. So you got the top part of the road, which is flat, and then you got those sides of the road to make it kind of a more 3-dimensional object, and those sides are usually like sand, right? And then you can paint along the roadside with like dirt or gravel to have that that gravel texture alongside. So like here's the road, and then so this would be the top, and then Winkel, the angle, would be the little angle dropping off the side of the road here. Okay, and you can change that however you want. You can experiment with this. I'm teaching you the very basics, so that's all you really need to know. So for geometry, I typically do a road that is for street spline constructor. I believe I do roads of 9.5. You can do 9. I think 9.5 is probably right. For this is a pretty small road. I might do 9 for this, or maybe even lower. Okay, and this actually doesn't even have any lines on the road. Jesus. Let me zoom forward really quick. Make sure, do we even have any? Oh, I'm going to put lines on these roads anyways, but oh, there's lines on this road. Okay, well we can change the textures. Doesn't matter. Just want to see what it looks like. Okay. So yeah, 9. I'll keep it at 9.5. That's just a standard for me. This is the road texture. I apologize. We skipped over this part. This is the edge of the road texture. Yeah, verge diffuse, I believe, is going to be a grass side to the road. We want sand. I have included the sand side right here. It said verge sand. I don't know what verge means, so don't ask me about that part. But we want sandy sides, I'm assuming. You can do grass as well if you want. Okay, and then this is the flat part of the road. This is the top. Okay, I have edited a little American road texture for you with yellow lines and white lines on the side. Okay, So we change the textures for those two. So when it generates, it's going to use those textures. Okay. So for a T intersection, I believe right here we want, oh, let me think, 180. And right here we want 90. Okay. For a T intersection. I believe this is correct. These are the different roads. So this is 3 how do you say, roads that are connecting to each other. You'll see what I mean when we open it up. So 3 prongs, I'll call them prongs, to the T intersection. Okay. So I'll show you here. We just ran it. Okay. No errors showed up down here. That's good. I just ran it here, and now I'm gonna go to import. I'm gonna go to my map. I'm gonna click import. I'm going to go to the front of the file. I'm going to go to CC. You remember we had that file path up here? We moved it to the test i3D. That's what we called it. That's right here. Open that up. I'm going to click Control B and just bring it in front of us. I think this is where the 4-way is regardless, but just going to bring that up in front of us. That's the intersection right there. Okay, and actually this looks I don't like the intersections looking with the lines like this. Let's change the texture here to I think I got an intersection. Yeah, let's change it to intersection. There we go. That's better. Okay, so file, import, test. Because the lines run to the center of the intersection. I'm not quite sure how to adjust the texture so that they see this one doesn't have any lines. Okay. So this is our intersection. You can see that it has that side with the sand along the side. You know, you could probably play around with these textures all you want. I mean, this is just what I have for my roads, and it kind of came with the script. And then I adjusted these flat top, the blacktop textures as well. So that's the T intersection. So for a T intersection, and you obviously can rotate this around as much as you want. For T intersection, that's going to be 180 for this first angle, 3 meters. And then 90 for this next angle. I wonder radius. I bet if you adjust these prongs come out more, but you don't really need them at the moment. So we want to add, so we don't want a T intersection, we want a 4-way. We're going to add this, and then these are the extra angles. I think we just want this one and a 45-degree angle. No, I'm going to guess that this is is either 80 or 1. This is either the total angle is -90. I need to experiment with this more obviously, but I'm gonna guess this is either 180 or 90. So I'm gonna press go. Nope, that doesn't work. Let's try 90. Let's try, what about -90? There we go. Okay, so -90. Import. Nope, that didn't work. Okay, so we need to experiment here a little bit. 1 second, let me experiment, and then I'll cut the video and bring it back up. Okay, so I think I got it working here. Apologize for that. This is Crossing Constructor can be really confusing. I know how to do the T intersections, but the 4-way intersections not as much. So this is what you would type in. This, by the way, Virter ab. I don't know what it means, or how to pronounce it. It's the 4th angle or 4th branch of the road. Okay, so you want that check marked. Okay, and I mean, if you have extra branches to this road, you would add this in here. But for a 4-way, you would want this all to be 90. Okay, I actually changed the radius to 5. I feel like this looks a lot better for the intersection. I'm gonna run that. I'm gonna import. No errors, import. Yeah, it looks a lot better. I feel like the curve around the road as opposed to this T intersection, this is one where we ran 3 meter on, was it 3 meter radius? The curves are a lot longer, and I think it just looks better, like a better intersection. And it's still, you know, it's still at the end of the day, it's still a 9.5 meter width road. Okay, so it's like a much bigger intersection to work with. So, so for T intersection, it's you don't have this, and it'd be 180 and 90. Okay, with the extra intersection here, you'd want 90, 90, 90. Okay, so that's pretty much all you need. I mean, if I am not going to sit here and experiment with all the different angles that you can add to it, that's not going to be fun for me. But those are the two basic ones. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and delete the T intersection. I'm going to bring this 4 way down here. This is part of the reason why we want to do intersections first, because we're going to flatten out the ground. Where's my plane? There it is. So I'm going to bring this, I'm going to actually bring this above the surface. Then I'm going to do Control B on this intersection. Bring it to the top of this plane with Control B. I'm going to get it put into place, zero it out obviously over here. I don't want these angled at all. Okay. That looks perfect. Just about. I think I need to move it up just a hint. There we go. Okay, perfect. Now I'm going to lower the plane again. I'm going to bring this down just about here. And if it's not level, if the terrain on the sides is clipping through like let me just like replicate what that would look like. Yeah, so if it's clipping through like that, so what you would do is, let's clear this grass out of the way quick. Get the grass out of the way. Always want to do that. What you would do is just go here, and you just do this for intersections. Okay. Let's change these numbers over here to terrain editing to 1. Let's do replace. And then I'm just gonna, Control Z. The reason why I click down first like this, and then do undo, Control Z undo, is because like when you click replace, and then you click Control R, sometimes this will switch to remove, and I don't want that. I hate that glitch. I don't know why it does that. Please fix it, Giants. Okay, so Control Replace will get rid of that and bring it underneath. And you want, basically what you want to do is you really want to level this out. Okay, you want to level it out all around the intersection, and then you're going to bring the roads up. Okay, so sometimes, you know, if there's a drop off immediately after the intersection, let's say this like really goes down, you know, after this, what you're gonna need to do is you're gonna need to level this out a significant ways. So you're gonna level it out like over here, and let's do like a replace limit of like 3. Yeah, let's do that. And let's say there's just a drop off right here, right? So so I can't run the road along like this. That'd just be, the road would look insane. Okay, and I want this to be level. Okay, I want this to be level so that all the roads are intersecting at a level point. Okay, if you're intersecting at an angled terrain, that's going to be really difficult. And you know, I know there are roads like that. I don't know how. That's not my. You're not going to be able to do it very well. Okay, so you're going to do Control Replace, and then bring this out, and then you know, lower your settings here. And then smooth this out. Okay, this is a really, you know, severe example, but you'd smooth this out, and then hopefully when you bring up the road, it'll come up and it'll angle correctly. But you know, it's going to be a pretty severe angle right here. When you're driving a semi over that, you know, the trailer's going to dip down and get dragged down, and it's going to look weird. But you know, just play around with the terrain while you're doing this, and just to get it, you know, just to get it the way you want it. Okay, so I'm going to bring that back up. Okay. Perfect. We got that finished. I'm going to click I'm going to create actually a little transform group here, and I'm gonna call this roads. Okay, and that transform group, I'm gonna make sure the clip distance is down. Cool. I'm gonna Control X, Control V. Okay, roads is zeroed out. Perfect. All right, now let's do our first road. We'll just run the first road. Okay, in Street Spline Constructor. So we got our intersections placed down. If you have multiple, make sure you go ahead right now, pause the video, and place those down in the same manner. Okay. All right. Control S is to save, but I always go up to File, Save. All right. Now's the fun part. All right. So we're gonna make the road come across this area. I'm not gonna put in the bridge at the moment. I'll just like tuck the bridge underneath the road or something like that, or mess around with it. I'm just gonna show you how to get this properly put together properly. I don't know what I'm saying here. Okay, so I'm going to create a transform group. I'm going to call this SSC. The name of this doesn't matter. Click on this. You're going to go to scripts, go to, let's see, spline placement create. Okay, now it just created the spline create placement group, right? Normally in previous older lessons, I would do this. I'd create these transform groups by hand, and people would misspell this and they wouldn't capitalize things properly. If you don't capitalize these transform groups properly, the script does not work. So I figured out that the included script just creates it for you, which is super convenient. By the way, I got Crossing Constructor and SSC from LS Mod Company. I want to credit the authors to that, so let me pull this up really quick. That's the author right there. And then I'm not sure. Oh, Crossing Constructor is probably by the same person, same program. So huge shout out to them. Oh, TrackMax did the spline. Okay, this is a different script. TrackMax and TrackMax did all of these. Okay, cool. So this first set terrain height by spline that we'll use to get the terrain below the road, that was by a different person. So I just want to make sure, I'm getting credit to the right people. All right, create spline. Control X. It'll bring it into this spline placement group. So I'm going to click on spline placement. Control V. Okay, so now these three objects are in this parent group. Spline. I'm going to pull this over here. Okay. Again, rotation matters absolutely so much. Okay, so like if you're going north to south, you're probably going to, or south to north, you probably want to angle it. I believe it's 90 degrees. I'll test it here in a second. The reason why that matters, 90 or negative 90, is that the boxes that are going to be placed down, there's going to be a whole bunch of little boxes that are placed along the road here, and those boxes need to be angled on the Y, or they need to be rotated on the Y axis only. Okay, they cannot be rotated on the Z and the X, and if you rotate this spline, it could screw with those rotate Z, rotate X, and then the script will not work. Okay, so we need to make sure our boxes are angled correctly. I'm going to take this, move it over here. I'll probably raise this so that I can raise this. Now this is where it gets fun. This makes life so much easier, I'm telling you. I'm just going to lower this down here. To where I can grab the endpoint. Okay, let me grab the endpoint. So is this angled pretty straight? Let me look above view here, see if this is actually angled or if it's going straight here. So yeah, it is a little bit angled on the edge of the map here, and it comes down into a straight path. So I'll replicate that. Okay, so let's, just like we did with our painted terrain, we're gonna kind of, on curves, you're gonna be adding a lot more points, and straightaways not so much. So I think we're coming to the straightaway here. We get across that bridge, yep, and then it just straight shot to the edge of the map there. Kind of wanna entering the bridge. I kind of want that to be straight there. Yep, there we go. Okay, and then bring it down just a hair. Okay, again, I'm hitting insert for all of these, adding all these points. And then all the way to our intersection, right? Okay, and look how that follows the road pretty well. Okay, pretty good. Now, I'm gonna just bring this, Control B this just a little bit here. Oh, did I screw up? Actually, you know what? I'm gonna edit undo because I may have angled it a little bit. It doesn't really matter if this is off the ground or not. It's just placing a whole bunch of boxes underneath when we actually run the script. Okay, so which I'm gonna do right now. So first of all, we need to put something in the objects to place transform group. So I'm gonna go to File, Import. Actually, 1 second. We skipped a step. Get this out of here. I skipped a step here. Apologies. Oh, no, I didn't. I'm smart. Okay, never mind. I got SSC in here. Never mind. I'm actually a genius. No, I'm gonna go File, Import, front of the map, SSC. I already put that in here, and we want post. You want this post. Okay. All right. I'll show you what the post looks like here. It's going to be underneath the map, but you don't need to know what it looks like yet. There we go. That's what it looks like. Okay. We want that post zeroed out. Control X. Objects to place. Control V. Perfect. Don't move it. Keep it there. We just want it in objects to place. We're going to click on spline placement. We're going to go to scripts. We're going to do spline placement execute. All right. Look how many boxes were just placed down from here to the edge of the map. Now, look at this. It followed our river bottom. I don't want the road to do that. So we're going to have to fix that. But let's just make sure. Let's look at the, let's go to the front. Click on the angle of these boxes. Okay. So they're rotated -80. That's fine. Y rotations are fine. Okay. These have to be 0. Rotate X, rotate Z has to be 0. Okay. Now, if you've rotated this initial spline, if you've rotated this, oh God, collapse all, there we go. And then open this up. If you've rotated this initial spline so you can go north, south, you can either not rotate it and just move the start point and the end point just like we did with the river, or you can rotate it, I believe by -90, or 90, and run the spline that way. You might have to run it from the other side of the map, but there's one way. If you do it, it will rotate X and Z. You don't want that. Just run it. Just delete it. Run it from the other side of the map, delete, all the objects in here, highlight all this, and then, you control, or shift, sorry, you just highlight that first box, shift and delete all that stuff if you really want. But ours are rotated properly, that's fine. Now, one thing I have to stress is, on hillsides, I'm going to open this up so I can show you, because this is a flat map and you need to know this. I'm going to open up my console map. Some of you are going to get a little bit of a sneak preview here, of what I've been working on. So I'm going to, this can really ruin your day, and make the roads not smooth anymore. They can bounce up and down. They can stair step on hillsides. So let's go over here. I'm going to show you what I did. Ooh, okay. Let me show you what I did here. Click on this. What's this group? Let's see here. -10. Bring that up to 0. There we go. This is what I did. Now over here, when I ran the, see how the road is nice and smooth going down this hill? It wasn't like that before. Okay. It was doing this stair stepping thing. So it was like it was bumpy all the way down this hill. Okay. How you fix that is you take all the boxes in between this bottom point. So this is the bottom point of the road. And all the way to the point at which you think your road is leveling out. So it kind of levels out right here. And then it keeps going up. Okay. You delete all the boxes in between. And then you can rerun this, rerun the road script. The street spline constructor. Now, what's really important, I'm going to note that this, before we run the script, I'm just trying to clear this all up before you run into any problems. Another important thing is that these are all in the correct order. Okay, so I ran from the start point all the way to the end point down there. All of this, if I click on this and I run down this list in the scene graph, these should all be in the correct order. Okay, so we start here. Now I'm going to click on the next one. It should be the next one down the line. If it is not doing this, that means your spline you did not do your spline correctly. Your spline a point may have gotten off at some point, or like you may have curved it too much to where it's doing something funky. Okay, so these have to be in a line. It's going to show up as an error when we run the script, run the program. It will refuse to run the program if they are not in order, and see that these are rotated properly and everything. Okay. Perfect. Let's go here. That same concept. I don't want these boxes here. Okay, I just want it to run straight across. Okay, so I'm going to go with that. Delete these. They're still going to be in order. I'm just deleting the points between them. Okay, and then this, let's see, what's the height of this? 6.8, and that's 7. So it's going to be decreasing in height at this point. That's fine when it goes across that bridge. I'll just have to angle the bridge. You know, if you want it to be level, then you would make these points the same on the y-axis. You copy 6.895, and then you'd paste it right here. And then these two would be at the same elevation, and the road would just be flat across the bridge. My road's going to be a little bit more angled. That's fine. Or my bridge is going to be a little bit more angled. All right, I think we're ready to run the script. Let's do that first box. Highlight that first box all the way to the bottom. So you hold shift, you click on the bottom box. Okay. Did I hit import? Sorry. Export selection files. We want to go to, we're in our tutorial map. We put SSC over here. You're going to put this on Spline. Okay. If you don't have that, just name an i3D called Spline. But you're going to export it as an i3D. The spline, you just click on this, replace it, that's fine. Okay, now we're ready to open the script and play around with that. Okay, so let's go to the tutorial map. This is insane how messy my desktop is. SSC, there it is. Okay. So it kind of looks like a street spline crossing constructor, but a little bit more advanced. So again, our the file that we're exporting to, or the i3D, the name of the i3D that we're exporting is going to be test. Make sure your structure here is correct. Make sure it's in the tutorial map. There we go. We're exporting to test. Okay, now I actually got the initial idea for this tutorial, and the initial file was from David Brown over on YouTube, so credit for him for making these parameters for the angles on the side of the road. You could change the parameters however you want. I mean, you know how, like the angles on the side of the road, we talked about that earlier. You could change that however you want. Doesn't really matter. I think David Brown came up with a really good one called the test RD. You could just, click load parameter, test RD, and that'll load this for us. You can adjust these values however you want. I think this is a good standard. Okay, so we want 9.5. That's what we did for crossing constructor. This is the width of the road. Now for the texture, I want that American road texture that we had before. What did I name that? I think Road American 3 is what I renamed it. It's kind of a mess. I'm going to try to clean that up for you. Okay, so we got that. We want to make sure that traffic splines intermit is check marked here. That's going to create a spline with our road. Okay, now we're going to click on that file right here under spline punct. All right, and then you're going to click on, we exported the boxes to the spline, remember, so you're going to click on that. Okay, so we're ready to go. Everything's ready to go. Everything should be set up properly. You can adjust these values. You can translate this obviously all together, but this is a good start. Okay, we got no error messages. That means our boxes were in the correct order, and there were no X and Z rotations. Perfect. So we did it perfectly the first time. So we just ran it, right? And these are zeroed out, right? Yeah, you want to make sure these are all zeroed out, because sometimes your road will just appear floating in the air when you import it, and that means you got to lower it down. Import. Test. Boom. And what happened? Of course, something happened. Something's always got to happen during these tutorials. Okay, the rest of the road looks fine. It must have gotten angled wrong there. So this is a good lesson. Oh, it doesn't connect at the intersection either. We forgot to do that part. Okay, so this is good. This is good because I can teach you this. No, I don't want to click on the spline. I want to click on the box, sir. Not the spline, the box. Come on, my lord. Click invisible. If that keeps happening, just make the splines invisible. You can always make splines invisible and they won't show in game and whatnot. Okay, let's bring this over here. Okay, and then I think I want to bring this a little down. A little down like that. Looks like just to get it just right. Okay, and now let's figure out what happened over here. All right. Let's move up. So that's, oh, see? The transform, see, this is what happens when they rotate X and rotate Y is like that. Okay, that's fine though, that's fine. Because it did correct itself over here. It looks like it's fine right here. Yep, -90. Okay, so we just need to delete some boxes here. All right, so the ones that have bad rotations, you can see it's 180, yeah. That might just have happened when it did that little dip into the creek, okay. So we can delete all the boxes in between. That's totally an easy fix. Keep that, delete that, delete that, delete that, and delete that. There we go. Those were actually probably fine, but I'm gonna delete them anyways. Collapse all. Okay, so now we're just gonna delete this, get this out of the way. That's okay. This is our first try. All right. We're gonna file save really quick. And then we are going to re-export these. All right. So we ran into a problem. We fixed the problem. And that is actually a very common issue. Spline, yes. So it's actually kind of good that it didn't work out perfectly, because I was able to show you guys what happens. So, and that's also why another lesson is keep spline street constructor open in the background. Don't close out of this after you're done using it, because A, it's going to make making the roads a lot faster, and B, if you screw up, you can always come back to this and just reload, just go back here and reload the spline every time. All right, you can change the spline up a little bit, reload the spline, rerun the script because everything else is ready to go. Then you're going to import, test, voila. And at this point, the road does dip down a little too much. For my liking, it kind of dips into the creek a little bit, and that's going to clip through our bridge for sure. So no, you know, maybe we want to go through and we want to edit these parameters so that it doesn't come down as much. I think yeah, if we open this up, this will, I think if I edit this, is that gonna change it? Oops, sorry. Yeah, but there's one parameter in here we can edit to bring these up. I don't know if I can. Oh, hey, that kind of works. Yeah, I'm not sure how I can I had to, no, stop freaking out. It's fine. So I will need to go back and I will need to adjust the parameter to bring this side up more, because I definitely don't need it dipping into the ground that much. But that's okay. So what we're gonna do now that we got the road down, look, there's all that stuff in the way. See that? Let's I'm gonna clear the grass out of here so I can show you what's going on. I'll clear it in a couple different spots. Should go check the intersection, make sure it did end up connecting. Not quite, but that's okay. I think it's close enough. You can just lower that. There we go. See? Now it's connected. All right, and we'll just need to make sure that we, you know, that the posts that we run for the other roads is just going to be the same height as this post. So just make sure when you're running those other ones that when you get to this point right here or this point over here, just copy and paste this translate Y so that all the roads are going to match the height of this intersection. Okay? I just lowered the intersection for the first road. Okay, see how we got ground clipping through there? Let's go over here. You can probably see it a little bit better. I don't know, does it show through better over here? Oh yeah, over here it does show through a little bit better. See how it's clipping through? We got ground on the road. That's fine, because we're gonna do, let's right click collapse all here. Go to the spline that we imported with our road. Okay, and you can lower this by, like, let's see, -0.03, I think is what is my standard. Let me go back to my other map just to make sure. Let's see. Oh, that doesn't help. Yeah, negative 0.03. Yeah, that works. That works. I mean, it might need to be lower. Lower. All right, so let's go click on that spline. Let's go to scripts. Let's go to set terrain height by spline. And there, it lowered. And now all we need to do is just move this over by like 3 or 4, probably by 3. So -3 Z direction, scripts, set terrain height. That's fine. You could do it even closer if you really wanted to. Then 3 in the opposite direction, scripts, terrain height by spline. Could even lower it in some of these spots, but look, now this terrain is conforming to the road, just like it is in real life. Do I have the image still? Yeah. Where was that? Up here? Where is it? Where are we? Where's the creek? Oh, the creek's over here. Duh. Stupid. Yeah, see how the I mean, it's a lot steeper here. I can go ahead and edit the terrain and everything to make this a lot steeper on the sides of the road, but you get the general idea. You know, it is pretty steep on the sides of these roads. So, you know, maybe I want to lower the road down or increase the terrain a little bit, but do some editing of the terrain to give it that look. Right now, I don't care as much because I'm teaching it, but you get the general point. Now, for these little spots here that don't get covered, you can change these values to 0.1. Let's see, 0.1, not /1. There we go, 0.1, 0.1, 0.1. Okay, and then we're going to increase this radius to the size of the road, and then just tap that middle mouse button a little bit. Can even increase this, and you can even and that's for smoothing. You know, you can smooth it out a little bit, or you can just tap right mouse button, which I have keyed to subtract, and that'll get rid of that without you losing any of the without losing, you know, out on like the ground coming up to onto the side of the road. Okay, so those little patches there, I think it's pretty much well covered throughout here. Yeah, but yeah, you will get those little patches. All you need to do is smooth them out, or you know, just subtract just very gradually just by tapping the right mouse button. Okay, so I hope this was helpful. You can do all sorts of crazy things. Do it exactly kind of how we did with our creek. You could do it that way. Just make sure that your boxes are not angling on the Z and X axes, that it's only rotating on the Y axis. Otherwise, you're going to get that problem. And make sure you're, you're keeping this open in case you do run into problems. So the two common errors are boxes are not in the right order and your angles are incorrect. Those are the two that you're going to run into the most. If you run into anything extra, make sure you bring it up in the Discord. I probably will have not seen it, but I can certainly do my best to help. Okay, so that's pretty much it. We did it. We did crossing constructor and street spline constructor. Everything from here on out is pretty easy, and then towards the end, when we are getting things functional and, you know, adding really complex stuff, that's when things are gonna heat back up. So let's get to the fun stuff. Let's start putting in some farms, start editing the terrain a little bit, and start giving this map some life. Okay, so I hope this was helpful. I'm gonna kind of flesh out the map now in preparation for the next couple lessons, and then we'll get back to it. I'm really excited. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.